plus somebody up from the back four will have to fill into the midfield, but it does allow the likes of Davern to go forward, and here he is on the left-hand side.
Davern settles, cuts to the center of the field, plays on the inside. There's Kidd. Now good ball to the outside, finds Ochoa. Ochoa off of the deflection, inside the box, has a go. Now the nice little flick back. Ochoa one more time, but the defender is there. That was Clark. They got a piece of it in the first real opportunity for Tulsa.
And that's been Sammy Ochoa's season, hasn't it, so far? He just couldn't get the ball round the defender. Good block from the defender, well kept in here by Portland.
There's Belmar, tries to go to the inside there. And Kasipli. And Eli in the battle will settle for the throw in here for Brewster on the far sideline.
Good crowding, Jeremy. Saturday night, nice crowd, no rain, and grey skies, but no rain, and a perfect night to play soccer. But as I say again, a good crowding.
There's Chad Bond trying to slip it in from behind. Evans is there. And we've seen the Roughnecks here in the first 9 minutes, as we now enter the 10th minute, have seemed to be focused on trying to find a way to get Kidd involved near the center of the pitch. And as soon as I bring that up, Lubin pushes all the way forward. Here's Eli, leaves one off for Ochoa. Ochoa now crosses inside the box. No one is there. You see Miller now providing a little bit of pressure. Good ball that's played to the center of the pitch. And here comes Portland from the midfield line. Overlapping run to the outside. Now a cut inside. Here's Richards. Goes back inside. Boy, look at the patience that we've seen from Portland so far. Look there from Nanshoff to the outside. Low line drive shot. Handled easily there from Lubin. Lubin's got to be careful on that ball. It was almost given up at midfield, but here's Stephen Miller. Finds Davern. Davern now with the left foot. Cross goes, Ochoa settles, plays it back, and here's a opportunity that slips by the wayside, just to the left of the post. And I believe that was Luca Cordero that missed on that open shot.
Beautiful cushion down. We talk about Sammy Ochoa's goal scoring, and, you know, we wanted to score goals, but that was a lovely layback there for Cordero. Cordero never quite looked right, did he? Came on it almost too front on, and his right foot shot went past the post. No trouble for Gleason, the New Zealander, in the Portland goal, but good build-up.
Belo Horizonte, Brazil is the hometown of one Luca Cordero. Grimes there on the challenge, coming through.
Good to have Ryan Price back fit again on the bench, and of course I think he's going to play a big role when Mason Grimes goes on international duty, Jeremy, because they're going to have to, well, he's a difficult man to replace, isn't he, Grimes? He's impressed me every time I've seen him. And we talked last in midweek, didn't we, about Brewster at right back, possibly coming into centre back, although he favours the right back spot, doesn't he?
Eli's knocked off the ball. You can become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content, as we are early on here in downtown Tulsa. Brewster plays off of Nanshoff. Here's a throw in now coming up for the Roughnecks. Good look at Kobe Smith, the trainer, in the background. As Brewster, the four-year starter at Bowdoin College and Seacoast United last year in PDL.
Portland playing with a lot of confidence. They knock the ball around well. They don't look like a side that's struggling to get points in this league, do they? But alas, the Roughnecks have defended well, both in defence and the midfield so far, with that back four and the midfield three.
Had a look at Tomo on that throw-in. The 24th overall draft pick in the MLS this past season, University of Washington.
Yeah.
Good ball to the outside, finds Davern. Davern now, not afraid, cuts the inside. Ball trying and searching ball forward to find Cordero, unable to do so. The assistance flag is up.
Offside. It was Belmar coming back from an offside position. Could have let it possibly go there, the officials, but the Roughnecks still in possession.
Miller to Davern. Davern, that low ball play to the inside. Cordero. Ball finds its way back to the outside as Miller. Miller could not fit it in between the legs on the shot.
That's the second time tonight that the legs of the Portland defenders have been in the way. Otherwise, the Roughnecks could have been a couple in front. They're not afraid to shoot the Roughnecks tonight. Maybe the coach has said that. You know, a few more shots from outside, a la Peter Toth in the 82nd minute on Wednesday. We'll move on from that. But two good efforts blocked by the defenders.
Foul on Toma. Now the Roughnecks will give it away as they go quickly trying to find Eli. Chad Bond to Kyle Venter. Venter lets that one go with the right. Headed back easily there from Richards all the way back to Gleason. Gleason 7 games, 10 goals allowed so far on the season. He has 24 saves. Besides this game here at ONEOK Field, another good look at Gleason on the YouTube side. T2 will play 2 more road games against Oklahoma City Energy on Friday, June 5th, and then they will travel to Colorado Springs on Wednesday, June 10th. We'll be on the road from May 30th through June 10th. Offsides on Kidd.
Third time tonight, Kidd. He's just going too fast, but he is faster than the back four there, so it's only going to be a matter of time before he gets beyond them and isn't in an offside position.
Payne plays towards the corner. Davern defending against Belmar. Clears that one out of bounds. Goes off of the baseball backstop. And a throw-in now for Portland. Richard goes, finds Kasipli into the area. Clearance from the Roughnecks. Cordero just a step short, was unable to get that. Good bit of footwork and good defending there as well from Chad Bond to be able to slip in on the backside, Dave. Help side defense.
I was just going to say that Chad Bond's not been in the game, really. We haven't really seen him much with the ball, but that's a great sliding tackle to win it back for the Roughnecks, and here they are in possession. As I say that, Miller was just roughed out of that one.
There's Grimes working against Belmar. Venter comes over to help. Venter's got to be careful about cheating over because he's leaving Winchester wide open. Davern also has to be extremely aware when Venter wants to come over and help.
It's a very difficult formation to play against when you're playing against 3 who are really in behind the central striker. You've got a back 4 for the Roughnecks, really marking 1, and they have to be careful when those midfield 3 make the runs through. You've got to pick them up. You cannot stand there and watch the ball.
Eli now battling. Loses that one. Here's Winchester that comes back. Will drop this one all the way back to Gleason. Gleason now just clears this one out of play.
So far, so good, though. 16 minutes gone. Roughnecks doing extremely well. That's a foul.
That's a foul as Clark comes over the back. Luca will pick himself up off of the turf. You can follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider. You can join club conversations and have a chance at exclusive giveaways at USL on Twitter.
Everybody back in a red shirt for Portland inside the 18-yard box.
This is Bond on the service. It's there and it's in. The Roughnecks have scored in the 17th minute. And is it Kyle Venter?
I think it is.
It is Kyle Venter who has made his way up from the back defensive line. And whoa, what a service there from Chad Bond on the set piece. And the Roughnecks strike first here in the 17th minute.
Wonderful delivery from Chad Bond. So difficult to defend against. One of those balls that just curves in over the top of the defense, in between the defense and the keeper. Keeper doesn't know whether to come or go. And there was Venter up from the back. I think it's his first goal of the season. Well done on him. And great for the Roughnecks. 17 minutes gone and they lead by a goal to 0.
Venter scored 1 goal last season for Los Dos. He was drafted out of the University of New Mexico in the 2nd round of the MLS draft by Galaxy in his 7th start. Prior to that, Dave Saunders, Venter only had 2 shots on the entire season. So that will not end up being a bad average for Kyle Venter.
That's very good. I mean, to be fair to him, he is a central defender, isn't he? But,
oh, you and your facts.
No, well done on him. Doesn't matter who scores, does it? I'm sure everybody working hard there. It was definitely a foul, and it was a great free kick from the Welshman, Chad Bond.
And keep in mind, so far this season, every single time that the Roughnecks have scored first, they have gone on to victory.
Now, you shouldn't have said that, should you?
Can I go and take that back here in the 19th minute?
Let's be confident. Let's go and get a second goal and get settled down here. But well done to the men in white tonight, of course, the Roughnecks playing in those 83 shirts.
There's Clark. Oh, Belmore got a piece of that right over the top of Mason Grimes, and he is a handful.
You know, you've got to credit Coach Irvin here, because I think I used the word scary on Wednesday night with this 4-3-3. It's a bold move to leave 3 up. Not a lot of coaches would do that, and he's gone with that, and it seems to be working, because it does, as in his words, and you can see it, Jeremy, as the game plays out, it keeps the Portland back 4 from coming forward, and they have to mark those 3 white shirts. So well done, Coach Irvin.
Lubin, who has not given up a goal in his last 2 starts here in the USL. Here's service coming in from Ochoa. Oh, if that one could have slipped over the top. Well, Cordero was there, and then the opportunity from outside.
Chad Bond again, wasn't it?
Deflects off of the defender.
Chad Bond there with a volley. Like you say, the defender turned and it went off his back. Another corner, and Chad Bond's gone to take this one over on the right-hand side, just in front of those fans on one of the lawns there. Isn't it a fantastic sight tonight to see families out there on those on the lawns, and good crowd.
Service inside. Results in another corner now coming up. Chad Bond will play this in. You can see Sammy Ochoa there. Right there on Gleason. Winchester will come over and try to help back. One more time inside the box, and now Portland with the clearance. All the way back is Stephen Miller. Now Stephen Miller, there's some pressure coming from behind.
Well played.
Little deke, and then turned back to the outside as Kasipli was on his back. Now Portland with possession from midfield. Roughnecks trotting back. Go to the inside of Winchester. Good job there from Mason Grimes to step inside on the angle. And then Ochoa unable to settle on the far side in front of the Portland bench.
But Sammy Ochoa has had some joy and some space down that right-hand side, and he's put in some very good balls, and he's working hard for the team, Sammy Ochoa. So well done to him on that right-hand side.
It is, and that's a little bit of a different look that we've seen from Sammy Ochoa, because normally when he has been in, if the Roughnecks have played 3 up top, Ochoa has been inside the middle. And with Sammy Ochoa making the start tonight for Gibson Bardsley, this is a different look that we've seen from Sammy, and so far so good there on the right side.
Absolutely. It might be good though, Jeremy, if Kidd and Sammy just occasionally swapped, and Kidd, you know, had to go down that right-hand side with his speed. But as you say,
just to give him a different look.
As you say, Ochoa's done very well. That's a corner, came off Brewster, I think.
Blast from outside. So Portland with the corner here in the 22nd minute. It's also leading 1-0. It will send a player short. Miller is out along with Cordero. Here's the service here from Blair, and that one leaks all the way out. And the opposite side, and Lubin will now have the goal kick. There's Gavin Blair from Scottsdale, Arizona.
No trouble for Lubin again, and it must be great to play in that back 4 and have a goalkeeper with the confidence, the height, and the agility of Zach Lubin behind. Of course, he made the team of the week in the USL, was it last week? And those clean sheets, you say, Jeremy, the last 2 in the league, so well done on him.
Here's Eli. Eli almost able to slip it through to Sammy Ochoa. Fender steps in front, and here comes Portland, and boy, they are impressive through the midfield with the amount of possession that they hold. Good ball, several options now.
Rooster fights off the inside to Chad Bond. Chad Bond with the service, finds Cordero. Here's Davrin. Davrin holds up for a brief minute, back to the inside for Cordero. Stephen Miller. Back to Davrin, cuts back to the inside. Good help on coming back there from Kasipli. Here comes Portland.
Again, you look down at the white shirts, and it's that bank of 4 and the bank of 3 working so hard now on the defending side of the game.
Ball played to Nanshoff, then back. Belmar. There. Winchester turns back to the center. 2 players were there. Not only was Belmar there, but also Kasipli and Kidd. Kidd was going 2-on-1, got a touch, finds Cordero. Look at Cordero, now to the outside. There's Sammy Ochoa. Could this be the opportunity for Ochoa? Oh, blasted directly at Gleason. It comes off his chest.
What has Sammy Ochoa got to do to score a goal? I was pointing from the commentary position miles away, saying Cordero slipped Sammy Ochoa in there. Ochoa just looked to the ground. It was a good save, to be fair, and Sammy Ochoa did everything right. He shot well. It was a powerful shot, but he just needed to be at the other side of the keeper, either side of the keeper, excuse me.
Lubin comes off of his line. Mason Grimes trying to shield off Belmar. Lubin has it. But I thought that you said it exactly how it should be. What does Sammy Ochoa have to do to score a goal here in USL with the Roughnecks?
You know, I think when he does score, and I think it is only a matter of time, and I sincerely hope it's tonight, that's going to be a corner. I think there's going to be such a great relief within the whole squad. It's almost like it's very, very humid, and then it rains and it clears. We just need that to clear. We need to get that one off our chest and just say, right, he scored his goal, on with the season. But he's working so hard, and I do feel for him. And every striker goes through this drought. Let's hope he gets it now.
Here's Chad Bond one more time. Plays to the area. A couple of Roughnecks players were there. Gleason has to go up. Bumps into the back post. He's able to pull that one down. You saw there the save average for Gleason. He has 10 goals allowed coming into tonight and gave up the one earlier, so 11 on the season. 2 really impressive keepers. Zach Lubin, obviously for the Roughnecks, who's leading the USL in saves coming in to tonight with 43.
I would say on the whole, the standard of goalkeeping in the USL has been very, very high, Jeremy. I think all the goalkeepers we've seen here at ONEOK, and you've seen some away from home, have impressed me. Very high standard.
Well, and Lubin has now, with the 2 shutouts, has climbed to 5th in the league as far as shutouts are concerned. How about the ball from inside to Cordero? Kidd fighting, still loose with it. Slipped down inside the box. It was a good challenge from the defender, but the Roughnecks now have missed on 2 golden opportunities here early in the first half.
And Kidd should have shot before he did. He took 1 touch too many. The ball broke to him. He should have shot, and he just had that 1 touch, which happens, and it should be 2-0. And I hope they don't come back to look at that moment from Kidd, because it was a golden opportunity.
Have you visited the new USLsoccer.com? You can get the latest news and live stats and check out the new social media hub at USLsoccer.com.
I'm not sure this Portland back 4, a la Seattle Sounders, who Roughnecks, of course, put 4 past. They're not the strongest I've seen.
Well, and Kidd did a great job as Lubin comes out to collect that one in the air. Kidd used his strength. And if you've seen Kidd up close, there's not an ounce of body fat on Kidd, solid muscle, and he was using all of that strength to hold off Brent Richards, and he cut to the inside. And if you give Kidd 1 step, he's going to beat you. There are not many in this league that are faster than Kidd.
2 good opportunities from the same position.
Here's Winchester with the service. Good ball played low onto the ground, trying to find Belmar.
Great interception by Mason Grimes. That was brilliant defending, because he read that. He got there just before Belmar and has saved the day for the Roughnecks. Well done to him.
Richards back to Clark.
Again, the high pressing from the Roughnecks, but Portland have got it away to that far side to get themselves a little bit of space, bit of relief from those three white shirts working so hard for David Irwin's men.
Here's Gavin, the captain, turns, looks, goes to the outside from the corner of the 18. Had a step for a brief moment on Brewster. That one came off of him. And it looks like it's going to be a goal kick now coming up for the Roughnecks. Don't forget, Admiral Sportswear is the official sportswear provider of the Tulsa Roughnecks. You can look for the official Admiral products at ONEOK Field.
Can I just say as well, we talked about the standard of goalkeeping. I just want to talk about the standard of the officiating, because again, I think the referee and the assistant referees and the fourth officials have done a wonderful job for the USL, and I think that will go well for the league as it beds in. It looked like a foul on Sammy Ochoa there, as I say that, but I think the refereeing has been really good, and you can always tell a good referee when you don't even notice them, and we haven't noticed the referee at all yet.
Tyler Mitchum is the man in the middle this evening. Ochoa from the corner, battling for it, and that is one in the corner from Portland, from Clark. Good 1-2 there from the Roughnecks. Service inside the box, a little bit behind Kidd. Clearance towards the middle of the field. Settled there from Chad Bond to the far touchline. Davern saves it before it goes out. Heels to the touch. Good service on the inside. Oh, off the post on the header from Kidd. Are you kidding me?
What a cross from Davern with his left foot. One of those swinging crosses in there with pace on it. Kidd did everything right, rose up there like a salmon, headed it against the left-hand post, and the danger averted. Well done, the Roughnecks, but they do need to convert this second goal. Offside there.
Offsides, as the referee noticed it from the assistant. The assistants, by the way, tonight, Eric Bars and Kyle Atkins. Truman Berghall, the fourth official this evening here in Tulsa.
Good performance from the Roughnecks. More energy than Wednesday. No pun intended there, of course, but they just seem to be settling into this system, which brave Coach Irvin is playing with his 4-3-3. And as we say again, up against the Timbers 4-2-3-1 formation.
I'd like to welcome all of you watching in on YouTube and on the radio side here in Tulsa, KAKC Tulsa, ESPN 1300 The Buzz. We are in the 31st minute. Roughnecks leading 1-0 over T2 in an important game here in USL. The throw in from Brewster. Service comes through the middle. Here's Brewster, plays back to the middle. Oh, good hard tackle coming in, and Chad Bond.
If Chad Bond was playing back in South Wales, he would have got away with that. But I think today, in this day and age, I think the referee has to show a yellow card. Chad Bond there, just leaving the turf. It wasn't two-footed. He hasn't injured the player. It's not a sending off. A few of the Portland players are surrounding the referee, which I don't think we need to see. It was a good old-fashioned challenge. But unfortunately, these days in the game of soccer, you cannot do that. And I think the referee has got that absolutely spot on. You don't want to see a yellow card for anybody, especially Roughnecks players. But I think that was a too strong a challenge, and unnecessary force, I think, is the terminology the referees have to deem for yellow cards these days. When you make a tackle, was there unnecessary force involved in the tackle?
You can see Sammy Ochoa pleading his case. There's Nanshoff as well. Ochoa coming over to have a conversation with the referee to stick up for Chad Bond. Here's Nanshoff. Service. And slips to the left of Zach Lubin. No harm done for Tulsa.
Just talking about formations, you can go on all night about different formations. As we say, we've got two formations out here. 4-3-3 is what the Roughnecks are playing, and a lot of top teams around the world are playing that as well. Back in the 83 days, probably it was all 4-4-2, and that's what you played, and everybody went 4-4-2 against 4-4-2. So interesting talking formations and the theories we got on the game of soccer, 32 years later.
Nike is a proud partner of the USL. You can follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. And here's a foul on Portland. Chad Bond
You can see Stephen Miller on the YouTube feed there. Stephen Miller still wearing that cast on the right wrist. Said back during the Austin trip, it's feeling much better. Here's the service from Bond. Oh, another brilliant ball. Slides into the backside. Portland did a good job of getting a piece of it to the outside, and here they come on the jailbreak.
Well done,
and
Stephen Miller.
Good bit of hustle from Stephen Miller to knock it away. Here's Portland trying to find Nanshoff. Or excuse me, that's Kasipli. And the Roughnecks have won a goal kick.
Interesting that Stephen Miller's the last man back, isn't he? He must have a bit of speed about him, and obviously that's something they've worked out in practice, but that's twice now he's made good last-ditch tackles to avert the danger. Well done to him.
And they've sent the taller lads up forward, and that's why Stephen Miller is dropping back to be somewhat of the safety valve from behind when they send Grimes forward and also Vinter, and it's already paid off because Vinter has a goal here tonight.
And that was Sammy Ochoa's strength there. He just stood his ground. The defender came over the top of him, and he's got a free kick for his team. Good lad, Sammy Ochoa. He's won a free kick in a dangerous position again.
Stephen Miller again hanging back near midfield. Ben Brewster is there as well. Chad Bond. Headed out. There's Clark. One in the air one more time from Payne. To the foot of Richards. All the way back to Gleason. Bond wins in midfield, but the header comes directly down to Portland. Good settle in the air. There's Belmar, who tries to turn. Mason Grimes had come up to challenge Belmar just as soon as he got the turn on. Trying to find Winchester now is Davern. Davern plays up the line. Has Cordero. Cordero is held up there from Brent Richards. Not a bad foul if you're Portland from that point. Kind of stopped the flow of play. You can't blame Richards one bit.
Well done to Davern as well, because he was deep in his own territory there, and he played a beautiful ball up the left-hand side. Found Cordero, who'd come short for the ball, and Cordero gets the foul, and the men in white can just settle it all down again. Jeremy, we've got 10 minutes to go till half-time.
Roughnecks leading 1-0 here in the 36th minute. Joe plays back for Chad Bond. Bond cuts to the inside, finds Kidd. Kidd to go with the awkward angle back to Ochoa. Did not work, and now the Roughnecks have to be careful. Here's Balmer. Has a man making a run. Tries to cut to the inside, loses it for a brief moment. And played off of Brewster and then cleared out of danger from Kyle Vinter.
Well defended again. They looked under pressure, didn't they? It was almost 2 against 1, but they got back well. Fitness and conditioning must be good because they're still tearing around the pitch, the Roughnecks. Well done. They still lead by this goal to 0 from Venter.
Nanshoff had it there for a brief moment. Now he goes back to the inside to Blair. Nanshoff has been a little bit of a problem on the outside for the Roughnecks here in the first half, as has Richards, who comes up here from the back defensive line. That one slips through the penalty area and behind Mason Grimes. And Lubin will now have the goal kick. And Nanshoff, product of University of Akron, as you see on the YouTube feed, there's the banner that's flying for the late, great Alan Woodward. Not only from the Tulsa Roughnecks side, but also Sheffield United, who passed away recently at the age of 68, was one of the founders of the sport of soccer and football here in the city of Tulsa. I mean, the impact that he has made here in the city, there are really no words to describe just how much that Alan Woodward meant to not only this community, was voted the #3 player in Sheffield United history back last season during their celebration of 125 years.
And was very unlucky not to play for England. I think we were discussing the other night, he was just up against, at that time, a good crop of right wingers, and Alan Woodward didn't quite get in, but a lot of people said he should have played for England. But
including Tony Curry, who was voted #1 in the history for Sheffield United.
Tony Curry, an absolute legend of Sheffield United, that's right. And Woody will always be remembered here in Tulsa, and he told me he loved living here in Tulsa. Didn't like going back to England in his last few years.
Mason Grimes finds Ochoa. That one slips off Ochoa. Now we've got two players that are bumping chest. It's Eli. Eli's in there. Eli's got to be extremely careful.
With the captain, I think Blair Gavin was in there, number 52.
That's absolutely correct. Toma comes in as well to try to separate the two individuals. That's one thing about Eli. Do not let the looks deceive you. Eli will get in there and scrap with the best of them. The two Roughneck players that always seem to be right there in the mix are Gibson Bardsley and Eli. Galbraith Knapp is going to be booked here, as will Gavin.
That's his Eli's second yellow card of the season. Like you say, he's in there and he doesn't mind scrapping away in that midfield, does he? But a bit of pushing and shoving. But again, I think sensible refereeing. He's got to show a couple of yellow cards, but he just tells everybody to calm down, get on with the game of football. And we've got 7 minutes to go till they can go in for their halftime refreshment.
Gavin's 26 years of age, Scottsdale, Arizona. Boy, what a career he's had, not only with Chivas, but Revolution, Seattle. Played in Atlanta in ASL with the Silverbacks. It's a good challenge there from Brewster to come up and challenge Gavin. Now back to him, the captain. Square pass to Payne. Now they'll switch it to the opposite side of the field. Here's Richards. Richards still dribbling with it. Dumps it off that one just to the opposite side of Gavin, who was coming through. Not much there on the service. Can Earless save it before it goes out over the byline or the touchline? He does. Cordero comes back to receive, working against Richards, and here's Cordero, gets a step by him from midfield. Ball still on his right foot. Finds Kidd. Kidd turns back to Cordero. Cordero with the head up, goes inside. Nice touch there from Ochoa. The run continuing on.
Wonderful piece of skill, from the Brazilian Cordero there. He looked to the left, but actually tricked the defender and played it to the right. Good run from Kidd as well to come out to the left as he's doing again now.
Kidd one more time. Richards turns. Kidd plays directly at Gleason. Gleason only has to take one step out, has it, and wants to go early. Here's Blair Gavin. Pushes forward now. Cuts to the inside as Nanshoff looks back out. Payne finds Belmar inside the arc. There's that overlapping run on the outside. Oh, that's a dangerous ball that dribbles right through the penalty area. Roughnecks fortunate. Extremely fortunate there that Sipley was not in a better angle. Cordero taken off with the ball from behind, and that's a foul that will be called here on Nanshoff. Cordero looks up. Nanshoff, University of Akron. Had 2 years with Vancouver. He was the 8th overall draft pick from Vancouver in 2011.
I think if you're the Portland coach and you've got your back four against the three, you've got to try and get your right back and left back forward to pull that three around. Here's the ball into the box.
And directly at Gleason. Easy play for Gleason from the ball from Bond.
Roughnecks 7 again, the 4 at the back and the 3 in midfield really working hard here. And now just before half time, even Sammy Ochoa and Kidd have come back. Everybody now in the Roughnecks shirt in their own half.
Just try to protect that lead here as we're in the 42nd minute. Good build up here from Portland until the touch there. Just unlucky from Blair Gavin as it came off of his leg. Boy, Kidd fighting.
Good back heel there.
Not enough on that one to get it over the top of Richards. Belmar, diagonal run. Can he save it before it rolls over the touch? No, he cannot.
Coach Irvin very relaxed over there. He always appears relaxed. He's not one of these coaches to stand up and rant and rave and shout. He's got his team. They know exactly what they're doing, Jeremy, and they are playing it out just as he would want them to. And he's quite happy to sit on that chair with Tommy Taylor and just watch, and no doubt will have a few things to say at halftime. But so far, so good. They lead by this goal to nil.
Here's Clark. Away from the back defensive third, through the middle. Now in the offensive third. Belmar showing. Grimes comes out to challenge. And the thing about the Roughnecks, as Grimes with the header and the clearance, fortunate there. Davern now as he approaches midfield.
Davern's had a lot of room out on this left-hand side, and he can get forward at will, and he loves to do that, doesn't he?
That's Ochoa, who's flipped sides now, that we talked about a little bit earlier. Maybe not necessarily in the middle with Kidd. Here's a giveaway.
Well done. Well back.
That's good hustle from Sammy Ochoa to help back, be able to touch that ball away from Belmar. Shot that sails way wide from Winchester, native of Trinidad and Tobago, 21 years old. He had 19 goals in 34 matches for Central FC in the Trinidad and Tobago Pro League.
Don't you just love coming to this place to watch soccer? Isn't it a wonderful place?
It's beautiful. There's a good shot on the YouTube feed of the roustabouts behind the goal. See Zach and Jesse Easton there. Out front.
Very colorful scene.
Roughnecks, obviously in their throwback kits from 1978, still has Modelo on the front. That's the official jersey sponsor of the Roughnecks kits. You can look for Modelo Especial logo on the front and ask for Modelo on your next trip to ONEOK Field concession stands.
I think I'm right in saying back in the late 70s, 80s, there wasn't any advertising on the shirts at all, was there? It's a sort of thing that came in later on. Now it plays a big part, of course.
Back to Gleason from New Zealand. I was reading before the match today about Gleason. Finally, I found someone else that's a fan of the TV show Flight of the Conchords. I guess when you're from New Zealand, that you have to be a fan of Flight of the Conchords.
Right. He's a long way from home, isn't he?
Here's Brewster that gets a win. We have 1 minute of stoppage time that has been added. There's a tough foul.
It's going to be a card, I think, for Andy Tomer, isn't it? The left back, or is the referee going to say to him one more?
I think he's just going to pull him off to the side here and say there will be no need for that. Toma's one of the more impressive youngsters that are on this team from Los Alamos, New Mexico. 810 minutes, 9 starts. He's got 1 assist on the season. University of Washington product, second team All Pac-12 last season for Toma. There's Ochoa that's back on the original starting side. Brewster will switch fields. Finds Cordero. Cordero brings it down with the chest, working against Richards. Tough battle there. Eventually won by Portland, and the clearance was not much, but that's going to do it for the first half. As you can hear the whistle from the referee, from Tyler Mitchum, and the Tulsa Roughnecks will lead here at halftime, 1-0 over Portland.
much, Kirk. Roughnecks Nation, how about that first half right there? Our guys are playing hard. Let's give it up for them. I know they're working hard out there, and it's showing up on the board right now. They're looking good. I'm excited for the second half, but I want you guys to know what else is going on. Make sure you guys stick around tonight, because after the game, like I told you earlier, we are going to have a fireworks show. So stick right in your seats, and we're going to have a blast, pun intended there, with our fireworks show after the game. And then when that's over with, the guys are going to come around and they sign autographs. So come to the bottom of the seating bowl. They come around and they sign autographs and take pictures. It is awesome. Then the Roughnecks go out of town for a little bit. The Drillers come back. They are actually home on Tuesday the 2nd through Sunday the 7th. We're going to start off with a $2 Tuesday, then day baseball. We got Thirsty Thursday with Clunker Car Night. We're actually going to give away Clunker cars. Then back-to-back fireworks and a Hornsby mini bobblehead that you guys want to make sure you come out for that Drillers homestand. Then the Roughnecks come back in town on Thursday, June the 25th for another Thirsty Thursday. That's the next home game. So we got a little bit of time while they're on the road, but they will be back on Thursday, June the 25th for another Thirsty Thursday. Now, while they're on the road, make sure you guys are checking out our social media sites, because we will have watch parties while they're gone. And if you haven't been to our watch parties, they are a ton of fun. Ton of food and drink specials. Some of them are even for all ages. So make sure you guys check that out. Plus, after the game tonight, the official after party is over at Lefty's on Greenwood, right outside the Archer entrance. Make sure you guys come. It's all ages. Anyone can come and come over and have fun at the official after party. All right, Roughnecks Nation, continue to get as loud as you can and cheer on your Roughnecks for this second half.
Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. Time now for the Bank of Oklahoma Kick for Cash. Just endure tonight's contestants.
All right, Kirk, I got some great contestants down here tonight. Over here by the terrace, I have Burgess over here, and over by the roustabouts, I have Brooks, and they're about to play the Bank of Oklahoma Kick for Cash. They have 30 seconds, need to score as many goals as they can, and the shortest amount of time is going to go home with $50 cash. And then we're going to try to go for some big money after that. Gentlemen, are you ready? Looks like they're ready on one side, ready on the other. On your mark, get set, go! And they're off. Burgess has got his first one, just a little wide. Looks like Brooks put one in so far. He's got two. Do we got any over there? No, we're still looking for that first one. We got 2-0, 2-1. All right, come on, they're getting close. We got one more in the middle here. One, number 5. We'll keep going here. Brooks, keep going in the middle there. Burgess went left. We got 5 seconds left. Let's see. Does it count? It's no good. How many we got? We got 1 over there. And I got 4 over here. Looks like Brooks is going to be our winner. Going home with $50 cash. All right, Brooks. Come right over here. Let's give it up for Brooks right here, everyone. $50 cash to Brooks right here. All right, Brooks. Do you want to go for the little goal for $200 cash or the big goal for $100?
I'm going to go for the little one.
He wants the little goal. Brad, get that little goal set up in there. All right, here we go. Brooks, you have 1 kick. Excuse me, Coyote. Excuse me. You have 1 kick for $200 cash. All right, Brad's getting it set up. Come on, Roughnecks Nation. Let's hear it for an additional $250. $200 cash extra right here. All right, let's see. And it's off. It's looking good. It's looking good. Oh, just right. You know what, Brooks? That's all right, buddy. We still got $50 cash for you right here, courtesy of the Bank of Oklahoma. Let's give it up for both these guys, Brooks and Burgess. That was awesome. Give it up for them.
Kyle, is this the last break in the halftime? Good crowd tonight.
Great. Really good.
All right, welcome back to ONEOK Field. Jeremy Poplin with Dave Saunders. One of the proud sponsors of Roughneck Soccer and presenting sponsors is Hillcrest. Did you know that Utica Park Clinic has more than 50 clinics throughout Northeast Oklahoma? Utica Park Clinic area. Green Country. You could call 918-579-DOCS to find a doctor near you. Hillcrest Healthcare System is the official medical provider of your Tulsa Roughnecks. And as we get set to start the second half, you can see T2 there trying to gather themselves as they trail 1-0 here to the Tulsa Roughnecks at ONEOK Field.
I think it's important that the Roughnecks come out just as they did in the first half. It would be really good to settle everybody down, my nerves included, with a second goal. Because at 1-0, it's a very slender lead. But having said that, if you go in at half-time 2-0 up, that's also a very difficult thing to go in and talk about at half-time. So 1-0's good, and they keep going the same way they are. Jeremy, let's get a second goal, settle everybody's nerves down here.
Roughnecks back underway. Saw Zach Lubin there, leading the league in saves. Between the pipes for Tulsa, former under-23 member of the Seattle Sounders. Also spent last year in the Swedish 3rd Division. Here's a good look at Zach. Coming in tonight, 43 saves. You know, Zach, we've mentioned this several times on different broadcasts, but as Gleason on the opposite end puts this one in play, Zach is an extremely unselfish player because Zach has had some really good opportunities. He had a great opportunity with Kitsap Pumas in the PDL, and he actually gave up a paying job. They were one of the only PDL teams that were paying at that time. He gave that position up to be able to go and train with the Sounders and to work with their goalkeeper coach. And he did the same thing on the East Coast as he had an opportunity to go with Rochester Rhinos and the Revolution. They were going to send him there on trial because he was going to be the 4th keeper in New England, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to go overseas to Sweden and play there because I'm going to get much more action there, where he played 30 games in the Swedish 3rd Division. So Zach Lubin has had a number of opportunities here in the States and has elected to try to benefit himself and get better play, not only in Sweden, but gave up a paying job to go and train at the under-23 side with Seattle.
And he's given that back for a great lot of confidence, doesn't he, with the way he comes out for crosses and plucks them out of the air. He's a very strong leader, and well done to him. He's been a real success.
Inside, dangerous, and the clearance in front of Lubin.
There's a player down inside the box there. I think he twisted his back as he went down for that shot that was just behind him.
Yeah, Lubin's pointing here and thought that Toma might try to play that one out of bounds. Here's Nanshop.
Is it Rundle Winchester that's down there?
No, it's Belmar. Belmar's holding his,
right.
Looks like his left elbow.
The ball seemed to go behind him, and he's certainly down. You're right, Jeremy. He's holding his left elbow there. I think he went down awkwardly as the ball was behind him. A little bit of danger for the Roughnecks as their treatment is, the trainers coming on to treat him. A little bit of danger there, and I think Coach Irvin would just say to them, you know, we must not let anything in now, obviously, especially early on in this second half. And if we can go and get a second goal, as I said, it will settle everybody down here. This great crowd that's in here on this Saturday night at this special place to play soccer. So Lubin there just having a word with a few of his defenders. And we're going to get back underway. But I think the lad's in a little bit of trouble there, Jeremy Belmont.
Yes.
It's a good spot from you. It's his elbow.
Yeah, it is his elbow. And as you can see there, 5 goals this season. A tremendous player at VCU, native of Virginia Beach. He was the second-round pick, 34th overall by the Timbers. Under 23 developmental team on the PDL side, had 8 goals. He was the under 23 player of the year. He's got 7 starts on the season so far, and let's hope that he's okay because he has been tremendous for Portland this season.
Sammy Ochoa kicking the ball down the field to give it back to the Timbers. His kid trying to get in behind the defender, and he's got there. Nobody
about all the
inside.
kid could do with it before he saved it to go over the byline. Belmar is standing directly at midfield. He checks with the 4th official, and the 4th official gives him the go-ahead. He has made his way back onto the pitch, so that is good news for Portland.
He just fell awkwardly, I think, but the ball was slightly behind him, and that's what happened. I don't think he slipped. I think he just fell awkwardly on his own, but he's okay. He's back on the field. No substitutions from either coach as yet.
Here's Evans. Evans, the Portland native, played at the University of Portland. 4 seasons. Under 23s. 2010, the PDL side, that team that went undefeated, just 23 years of age. Last season played in Sacramento. Service there to Blair Gavin. Anshoff and Lubin there on his back post.
I think Ventnor's header back there wasn't intended, and I think he just had a quick look over his shoulder and hoped the ball wasn't looping over Lubin's head into the goal there, so got away with that one. You might be able to bring me up to date with the rules, but I just hope the likes of Sounders 2 and Timbers 2, as the season goes on and playoff places are up for grabs, whether they would start bringing in first-team players. I don't know if they're allowed to, Jeremy, but I hope they don't, because I think that would spoil things for the likes of the new franchises.
One of the home games for Timbers this season, in which they actually played in the Timber Stadium. Good job there on the clearance from Vinter to make sure that is out of the danger area for the moment, but a cut on the inside, and then save it before it goes over the touchline. He does. That's Nanchuk. Ooh, flying near towards the front post there was Kasipli. Just out of his reach. Kid falls down. It's been intriguing to see how the MLS sides have handled moving players up and back. Several of these players currently on loan from MLS for Portland. Here's Kidd, who's taken off of the ball. Good bit of defending there from Evans. Evans now stole the ball on his right foot. Now he'll give it up. There's Winchester. Chester cuts to the inside. Good ball, finds Belmar. Back to the danger area on the penalty. And boy, if the roughneck defender did not get back, Winchester was going to set himself up.
It's just gone a bit quieter in the stadium. That's a good ball in as well. Just gone a bit quieter, isn't it, Jeremy? Because we're under pressure here at this slender 1-0 lead, and it's all Timbers at the moment.
And this will be a corner now coming up. We'll see Gavin. Kickoff out short, all the way through the opposite side of the box. Saved on the opposite side. It's Mason Grimes battling. Oh, good footwork that goes towards the byline. He desired something a little bit more on the cross. Chester fighting now with Eli. Foul from behind. Portland goes quickly. Here's Payne. Payne finds Winchester, sets himself up. Oof, that ball, just the continual and gradual rise off the boot there from Winchester as he cut towards the inside.
Great strike from Winchester. He got all the movement right, his body shape right. He got the ball onto his right foot as he wanted it, and it was a good drive that was always rising. And but we saw one go in, didn't we, the other night, just in that corner, and I think Lubin again was happy to see it sail over the bar onto the lawn.
You can become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. I'd like to welcome all of you watching in on YouTube as well. All of the regular season and playoff games are available live, free, and in HD on YouTube. You can connect with the USL YouTube channel today. Also leading 1-0 here in the 54th minute.
Well played, Davron. It's won a corner, and that will relieve the back four just for a few minutes because, as we say, we haven't seen the ball down this end of the field as we're at the end that the Roughnecks are attacking. So corner to the Roughnecks. Chad Bond.
He's working against Renenko Clark. Bond in swinger. Winchester. Well, you just never know off of the deflection sometimes how the ball will bounce. Gleason handles that one.
Just wonder if it's another 10 minutes and we might see a Roughneck change.
Roughnecks on Wednesday night, their first sub came in around the 60th minute. That's normally about 5 minutes before we've seen some of the substitutes come on from David Irving. Rundell, cuts to the inside. Good bit of footwork. That one's loose for a moment. Lubin hops on top of it. Had to dive near the 6-yard line. 6-yard box, and Lubin's got a little bit of a smile on his face as comes up with it. Easy play.
Yeah, just got to watch ourselves here, haven't we? Haven't started this second half really yet, so we need to get the ball up to the likes of Ochoa and make the ball stick up there for a little while because it keeps coming back rather quickly.
Everyone is up off the Tulsa bench, warming up. There's a good shot of the berm here in the outfield at ONEOK Field. Gleason, as he puts it in play. This one's won at near midfield inside the center circle. A little stumble from Chad Bond, loses it. And now Davern a throw directly at midfield. There's the substitutes for Tulsa. You can see there Gibson Bardsley, number 7, leading goal scorer for Tulsa so far this season. Andy Lorai as well.
I'd like to see Sammy Ochoa go as the traditional centre forward and put Kidd out wide on the right because I think we need something a little bit different at the moment. We're not getting it up to those 3 at all.
Henshaw. Well, there's a good battle between Chad Bond. Michael Nanshoff and Chad Bond shields him off. You talk about the change from Sammy Ochoa as Lubin gets set for the goal kick. Roughnecks leading 1-0 here in the 57th minute. I would almost be willing to bet that maybe one of the first changes that we'll see is actually Gibson for Sammy. And that will be a completely different change of pace from what Portland has seen.
I think he could be right. I think he could be right, and I don't think it's far away now. I think Coach Evans got all of those subs, as you said, warming up over there, so they're ready to come on, any one of them.
Unless David Irving wants to go with Andy Lorai in that position, but I would be willing to almost bet that we would see Gibson Bardsley make an appearance sometime here in the next 10 minutes.
Like you say, Kidd could come out wide on the right, and Andy Lorai could go as the big number 9, couldn't he? So a few options there for Coach Irvin. That's a good battle.
Here's Kidd, touches it on. Is Sammy onside? Oh, the assistant's flag comes up at the last minute.
Yeah, it's very difficult for assistant referees, isn't it, these days? They have to let the play go on, and then if a man becomes active, then they raise the flag, and it frustrates fans and commentators like us. Here, I'll just let you go to commentary.
Winchester with a fantastic ball back towards the penalty area. Did not have anyone to run onto it there for Portland. But we're starting to see him kind of pick up the dominance a little bit here in the second half as well from Trinidad and Tobago. He has 4 caps for the national team there in Trinidad and Tobago. He received his first at the age of 19. Of course, I say that, and he's only 21. Still have a lengthy career in front of him. That will be a foul on Clark. Kingston, Jamaica.
I think Trinidad and Tobago, if I'm not mistaken, played England in a couple of World Cups ago. I think it was possibly 8 years ago, possibly 12, but things coming on all over the world with soccer, and that's why it's important with the current climate that we look after this wonderful game worldwide.
Here's the goal scorer, Vinter. To Brewster. Header directly in the air, and they'll say that Ochoa kind of was able to cut underneath Andy on that play. Andy Toma, New Mexico.
Keeping an eye on those subs over there. It's a long way from us, Jeremy, but they're certainly vigorously warming up. They all want to come on, of course they do, but I don't think we're too far away from a Roughnecks change here, which I think would be a good idea.
Lubin rolls this one directly out in front of Davern. Davern has a bit of space. Eli from midfield back to Davern. Now here's Kidd. Settles. Oh, contact there. Working against Richards. Plays back. Finds Cordero. To Davern. Davern with the left foot. Still on the foot of Davern. Here's Miller. And cut off in front of Sammy Ochoa as Stephen Evans steps in front.
And that's exactly the kind of position that Stephen Miller hit the ball into there, right along the 6-yard line that Coach Irvin was talking to me about before the game. We've got to score goals from inside the 6-yard box, and it just needs a little bit more movement. Also, a little bit of luck to get the ball past the defender. Good defending, to be fair, but that's the kind of position I think Coach Irvin would love to see some more goals in for the Roughnecks. Often goals are scored by pulling the ball back behind the defenders. As the defenders run towards the goal, the ball is pulled back towards the penalty spot. And that one, Steve Miller hit right across the 6-yard line.
You can follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider, join club conversations, and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. All at USL on Twitter. Throw into the far side. Here midfield. Here with Davern.
I think Gibson Bardsley is stripped and ready for action, Jeremy. He's right over there, ready to come on at the halfway line. If my eyes don't deceive me, that's Gibson Bardsley, but I might be wrong with my aging eyesight.
Henshaw.
In fact, I am wrong. I don't think it is Gibson Bardsley, is it?
In the center. It's Winchester. Oof. That was oh so close for Portland as he was trying to go back post. Lubin ultimately let it slide past him, but that was a golden opportunity, and now here comes the substitute.
I was right. It was Gibson. I think it's Kidd, isn't it?
It's going to be Kidd. So Gibson Bardsley will make his first appearance here this evening.
And I think Kidd's had a good 62 minutes there, and don't forget he's coming back from injury. In fact, just as he walks off there rubs the hamstring, which I think has been the problem. So well done to him, and Gibson Bardsley will no doubt want to do something in this 28 minutes remaining with this slender 1-0 lead. Let's not forget that it's still only 1-0, and really this second half needs a little bit more from the Roughnecks here.
So here in the 63rd minute, Gibbo comes on. You saw Tom Taylor come over and greet Kidd. So Kobe Smith, the trainer. Offsides.
Gibson.
As Gibson.
Yeah.
First touch from Gibson, and he is offsides. Gibson Bardsley, 3 goals on the season.
Looks like Sammy Ochoa's now gone to the left. Gibson Bardsley up the middle, and Cadero's come to the right of that 3.
That's a bit intriguing as well. We haven't seen Gibbo inside the middle on this season. That's again mainly been Ochoa when he has been into the lineup. Nanshoff. Oh, what a goal from Nanshoff. Are you kidding me?
Sometimes you have to hold your hand up and say, that is a fantastic goal. And that really was a fantastic goal. Zach Lubin, no chance at all with that one. What a strike from Nanchov. And you have to say, even the most loyal of Roughnecks fans would have to say that the Timbers deserve to be back on level terms with what they've done in the second half. They seem to have sorted this midfield out. They seem to have got round this Roughnecks 7 they're playing at the back, and the pressure's been coming. And now let's see how Coach Irvin's men respond.
That will be a candidate for goal of the month, because the touch that he was able to get to slip it past Chad Bond. Chad Bond went flying off to the angle, and to set himself up, and then to go to back post to beat Zach Lubin. Incredible.
Well, it takes something special to beat Zach Lubin from anywhere, doesn't it? But that really gave Zach no chance whatsoever. Wonderful strike. We seem to be the victims of great goals against us, don't we, Jeremy? If you think of some of the goals that have gone in against the Roughnecks, they've been fantastic strikes.
And you could almost sense that one kind of building with the type of pressure that Portland has been putting on the Roughnecks here in the second half.
Roughnecks have drawn 4 games this season, haven't they? They would not want another one. And as Coach Irvin said before the game, he'd like to go in at final whistle 4-4-2 rather than 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, of course.
Here's Eli. Bit of a slip there on the infield surface. Choa from the touchline.
Choa's come to the right and Cadero's gone back on the left now. Still Gibson Bardsley the sub up the middle.
Nanchoff the goal scorer. Still with plenty of space in front of him. With the left foot, drills it directly at Lubin.
Too much space given to Nanchoff, and Lubin's rather given that one away as well.
In the Open Cup on Wednesday, most of the energy shots came from outside the 18. And that was the case here one more time. And maybe a little bit too much space given from the Roughnecks, not only here tonight, but on Wednesday night as well against the Energy.
Given the amount of rain we've had, I'm not surprised, but a few of the players have slipped around tonight. One of the Timbers players just slipping there, but again, surface looking really good, and again, great credit to these groundsmen who worked so hard. They're out there at half time working on the turf. Well done to them again.
Here's Gavin off the square pass inside to Belmar, and then Belmar gave it up.
It's going to be another substitution for the Roughnecks and for the Timbers in a few moments. Choa's gone down, got a little inadvertent arm in the face. I don't think there's anything malicious.
I've been impressed with the way that Portland will hold up when they have possession. Not in any amount of hurry. It will turn and look for every run that is available to them. And we'll have a sub here.
I think Chad, is that the Portland sub? Chad Bond's going off for the Roughnecks, is he? No, he's not. Sorry, that's the Portland sub. Sorry, folks. You can all... sorry to give you the nervousness there. Eli's coming off, isn't he?
That's Kasipli will head out, and Nick Beasler will check in. Also, that's Lori Bell on for Eli for the Tulsa Roughnecks here in the 68th minute. So Nick Beasler on from Overland Park, Kansas. First round draft pick, 5th overall, 2015. Of course, his brother is Matt Beasler from Sporting, also men's national team. What is amazing, you look across all the rosters, not only in USL, but just across soccer in general, and see the amount of talent that comes out, and not only to Overland Park, but just Kansas in general.
Beasler's a very good player, isn't he, his brother? Very impressed every time I see him play.
Nanchoff looking for Belmar. A throw in on the near side for Portland. Back to Evans.
Straight swap there. Eli coming off. Laurie Bell's gone into that role, the number 4 in that midfield 3.
Davern doing his best. Drops back to Vinter, back to Davern. Davern loses it to the inside. Here's Belmar. Call a foul from behind. Nanchoff has Toma to the outside, elects to keep it on the inside. Now they'll bring it across to Toma. Evans from midfield. Bardsley giving chase. See Beasler there with his first touch. Beasler near the center of the field. Gibson catches Beasler from behind.
It's all Timbers at the moment, Jeremy, isn't it? And Roughnecks need to get their foot on the ball and get 4 or 5 passes together. But again, a long ball out there is just given away again.
Yeah, and they are out of shape currently here in the 70th minute. Tied up at 1. Bond settles from midfield. Davern from the left wing. Vinter forward. Ochoa continuing to fight. Keeper comes way off of his line, out of position for a minute. Good service to the center of the pitch.
Well done, Sammy Ochoa. Worked hard again for the team. Saw that there was a bit of indecision between the goalkeeper and defender. Got in between them, got out wide on the right, played an early ball in. And there was the sliding Gibson Bardsley, who just couldn't get on the end of it. That was a little bit of pressure there from the Roughnecks, and they so need this.
Well, and credit Toma, too, for dropping back. And finding his mark in Bardsley, who was the only Roughneck player in the area.
I just looking at along the back 4. I mean, you take Zach Lubin in the back 4, so call them the back 5, and not one of them has had a bad game tonight, and they find themselves at 1-1 because it was a fantastic strike. And as I said in commentary, you cannot help but sometimes just say, hey, you know, that's a fantastic strike. Yeah, okay, you could say the lad probably had a little bit too much time, but that happens in the game of soccer sometimes. Brilliant strike, nobody could stop it, and I think the back 4 have played really well, and Zach Lubin has played really well as well.
Winchester had that one just directly behind him, and now a foul will be called as Luca, and we'll have a booking here for Portland. That's going to be on Richards.
I think that's what they call persistent fouling. I think he's done sort of 2, that was probably his 3rd, maybe his 4th niggly foul, and they call it persistent fouling, and that is one of the reasons why the referee can show a yellow card to him.
Richards made his T2 debut back on the May 19th against the Michigan Bucks in the Open Cup. Can Cordero get there in time? He does, to save it. Back to Davern. Vinter with the header one more time. Gleason falls to the surface to his right, but it was short.
Surely not a second one for Vinter tonight, but just didn't get enough on it, did he? It was almost behind him. Did well to stretch his and bend his neck back and get a header, but Gleason, easy save for him. Remains at 1-1, and we've got 18 minutes to go.
Gleason has had 7 call-ups for the national team in New Zealand. Under 23 national team. 2011, he had 4 appearances in MLS. Toma working against Brewster. Earned a corner for T2.
Again, really quickly, New Zealand doing well. They got to the last World Cup, didn't they? So things are going well in there. Australia are coming on, and you know, it's a worldwide game. And here we are in downtown Tulsa, witnessing a great game of soccer between the Roughnecks and Portland Timbers 2. 1-1, and it's anybody's game at the moment.
Service played in, ball loose inside the box, and finally cleared away. And
now, what's the referee doing here? Is he given a penalty?
he's coming over.
I think he may have given a penalty, Jeremy.
Is he giving a penalty to Portland?
Yeah, I think it was for a handball.
Boy, Lubin is trying to hold off the complaints.
Is he going to call it on Vinter? Is that who he called it on? I believe he did. I believe it's Kyle Vinter who's going to be called for the handball.
Well, they're all asking the referee what it was for, and the referee saying it was for a handball. Ochoa and Bardsley have got to walk away, and it's one of those moments when it wasn't clear cut, but it's a penalty and a chance for the Timbers to take the lead for the first time on the night. Now, come on, Zach Lubin.
It's Nanchoff. Lubin earlier this season was able to save a PK, and this one is not going to be the case as Nanchoff slots it in the right-hand corner as Lubin guessed the wrong direction, and just like that, Portland finds themselves in the lead here in the goal in the 75th minute on the PK, and the second goal from Nanchoff.
It's a long, long way from us. Jeremy, I don't know if you saw anything on the replay, but the referee was absolutely adamant. He called it straight away. The ball came in from the corner, and he said it was a handball, and he gave the penalty. He pointed straight to the spot. So he was confident. Who are we to disagree with him? It's an unlucky one. You don't like to see it, but there we go.
Roughnecks now trailing after leading for a large portion of this game as Bardsley dribbling towards the corner, working against two defenders. Touched out of bounds from Toma. Here's Brewster coming over for the long throw.
Long flat throw from Brewster. Now we need a little flick on here, and Sammy Ochoa to put the ball in the back of the net from a couple of yards out. He's come short for this one. Here he is.
Ochoa receives it. I think he was going to let that one kind of slip out over the byline, but the defender saved it before it went out. Here's Bond. Bond to Ochoa. Ochoa's still on. There it is. Can it go inside? No. Oh, front post. As Cordero was there, they're going to say that the defender got a touch on it to knock it out of bounds, and it's a corner coming up for the Roughnecks.
Wonderful play. Sammy Ochoa there, and Cordero doing everything right, flicking the header on good defending. Chad Bond corner.
Here's Chad Bond. Low, and near the front post is Bardsley. It came off of Belmar, so another corner now for Chad Bond and the Roughnecks here on KAKC Tulsa.
Good pressure, and this is what makes the game of soccer so exciting. Here it is again.
Bond's approach. Settle. And Stephen Miller, wide left.
I think the crowd were more excited than we were. We could see from our position here that that was sliced wide by Miller. There was good pressure on him, actually, but good pressure from the Roughnecks, and they need something to fall for them in that box. They have one more substitution, of course, and I think Tommy Taylor and Coach Irvin are now both stood up and are no doubt discussing what other change they can make.
Case & Associates is the home for the Roughnecks players when they're not on the pitch, and you can look to Case for your apartment needs. You can find Case & Associates online at caseusa.com.
That's a good ball. Pull it back. He's kept it in, Cordero, but now he's lost out. Can we get the ball in? Yes, we can.
Does not slip through Beasler. It's almost like the Roughnecks have come alive here after the second goal scored on the PK. Offensively, there's Laurie Bell showing inside the box. Has it, working against two defenders, finally loses out on possession. But Mason Grimes will retrieve from the infield. Poor ball from Mason back towards the center area. And now Portland. As Tim Payne received it. Here's Nanchoff.
Nanchoff, of course, on a hat-trick now, isn't he?
Beasler, nice ball, finds Winchester. Winchester curls back towards the corner of the 18. A dribbler towards Lubin. Lubin has to retreat to the knees.
And Lubin's going route one now.
Roughnecks scored in the 17th minute. A goal by Kyle Vinter to give them the lead. And it was Nanchoff in the 64th minute, and then one more time in the 75th off of the PK.
Free kick, and Timbers taking their time now. 12 minutes to go. Still time for the Roughnecks.
Toma.
Cuts to the inside, ball still on his right foot. Now we'll pull back. It's Gavin. Toma was there, back to Gavin, finds Nanchoff. Here's Beasler. Beasler to Toma. Toma thought about on the cross with the left. We'll pull it back. Beasler with Gavin.
I think Beasler's made a big difference to the Timbers. He seems to be knitting things together in central midfield, and they look like a different team. The ball's been played out. Is that an injury? Yes, somebody down there, Jeremy, in a Portland shirt, and the referee's going to bring the trainer on. Still time, 11 minutes to go, but you just feel heads are down a little bit now for the men in white. Okay, that decision went against them. We say again, the referee was adamant it was a handball. You can't argue with the referee. He's given this decision. I've never seen a referee change his mind because players are arguing. I think Chad Bond's even talking to the referee about it now and saying, you know, we feel you got that one wrong, ref. But there we go. You've got to get on with it. You're 2-1 down. It's gone now. And they need to do something. And heads are down a little bit. They just need to pick themselves up here.
That's the 26-year-old captain that's down. He had 5 starts coming into tonight. 493 minutes as well with 2 assists. University of Akron, Chivas, Revolution, Seattle. Silverbacks last season, 23 appearances, 7 goals. He was the 10th overall selection in the draft back in 2010 by Chivas. You see David Irving and Tom Taylor there discussing some strategy. Brady Ballou behind them.
But he's done nothing wrong this season, has he? So it'll be exciting to see him come on for the last 10 minutes.
In the 81st minute, here's Davern. Davern finds Laurie Bell. Laurie Bell looking for Gibson Bardsley on the searching ball forward. And they're going to say that Gibbo pushed down Clark right on the outside of the arc. See Clark down on one knee. Under 20 Jamaican national team. Played in the CONCACAF under 20 champions. Harborview FC in the Red Stripe Premier League there in Jamaica.
I think Roughnecks are going to make that last substitution. Or double, is it a...
Well, remember here in USL they have 5.
5, excuse me. They're going to make a triple substitution then. Of course they do. 5 subs allowed, and I think all 3 of them are going to come right on for the last 10, and I think it's going to be kitchen sink time.
A little shove from behind. As Davern continues to fight.
Ela Davern's had a great game for me down that left-hand side tonight.
There is one really more hard. Time. Here's Cordero. Davern. Maybe Davern could have got a little bit lift on that inside. And a low service towards the penalty area. Well, as you can see, the 3 players waiting to come in. That is Andy Lori, Ryan Price, and Brady Ballou for the Roughnecks.
Andy Lori will obviously be a big presence up front if they want to throw in on the far side. They have.
And now we will see the subs.
To Miller's.
Who are they
off.
for? So Ryan Price, and it looks like Brewster.
Steve Miller's going off as well, Jeremy.
Ben Brewster, Stephen Miller. And also Chad Bond. Nope, Chad's going to stay. Chad came over just to check with Tom Taylor for a brief moment.
I'm excited to see Brady Ballou. He's done nothing wrong. Here's the ball into the box.
Bardsley was there. Lori was directly behind him.
Brady Ballou down the right-hand side, wearing number 24. Price has gone almost to a back 3, I think, now. Certainly Price has gone on at right back, but I think Davron will be pushing on. Danger here.
Vinter working against Belmar. Belmar with good skill inside the 18 will drop it back for Gavin. Gavin now plays it to the corner of the 18. Winchester not afraid to drop back. Beasler. There's Payne. Richards finds Payne.
I think Sammy Ochoa went off.
He did.
For the third sub, didn't he? Late board from the fourth official, who's now showing all the numbers over there on the far side. Ochoa worked hard again, but we know what we wanted from him. We didn't get it tonight, but he had a good shot on target.
Toma loses that one. Oh, there's a good throw from Baloo. Can Gibson turn? He's inside the box. Oh, directly at Gleason. Oh, Gibson Bardsley.
One of those that if he'd gone down, he possibly would have got a penalty, but he carried on. Well played to him for carrying on, and then the ball just stuck under his foot, and he just kind of lifted it towards Gleason, but he was clipped just before. Got a little shove in his back there, Jeremy. It's one of those where the honest player doesn't get the decision, which sounds a bizarre statement, but it's true.
You're in the 85th minute. Tulsa trying to find an equalizer.
I'd still much rather see players do that than flop around as some of them do.
Cordero back to Davron. Davron sets up Laurie Bell.
Well played.
Cuts to the inside. There's a foul inside the box.
Now the referee's going to book him for diving. That is not a penalty. He's going to book Cordero for diving, Jeremy. The referee's going to book Cordero as he gets up for diving.
Well, you had a much better angle than I did.
I think the referee's got that right, I have to say. I'm a Roughnecks fan, but I think Cordero went down too easily.
You can see Payne now coming over and telling Luca to get up. And there's the booking for Cordero. So you are exactly right, partner.
Yeah, and it's something that I don't like to see in the game of soccer, and Cordero will claim that he was clipped, but I don't think there was enough of a clip for him to go down like he did, for the referee to give a penalty, and pressure on the referee to even it up.
Here's the replay. Yeah, that was Winchester, and I'm with you.
Okay.
I think that was a little bit of a sell job there from Luca.
My wife would tell you that I'm not always right. In fact, I'm rarely right. But again, I don't like to see diving. There was a little clip, wasn't there?
It was a little clip. It looked much worse on the initial than what it did there on the replay.
Come on, Roughnecks, you've got 4 minutes plus the injury time, which probably we'd say is about 3 minutes at the moment.
Here in the 87th.
But again, good officiating from the referee if it was a
there's a foul from behind.
No, is that Chad Bond? Chad Bond has already been booked, and I think the Portland players are trying to get a second yellow card for Chad Bond here, which again I don't like to see, but that was a bit of a cynical foul from Bond because the lad was away there. Got to be careful, don't need a silly sending off. Remember, Chad Bond in the first half with that heavy challenge got booked, and he certainly took out the man there as he was away. He's a little bit fortunate there, the Welshman.
Clark lets this one dribble out past the byline. Gleason with the goal kick here in the 88th minute.
Gleason's taking all the time he can here.
Tulsa trying to get a couple of pushes forward here. Time still left in regulation, trailing 2-1. On the brace from Nanchoff. Beasler came flying through Baloo. There's a one more time touch forward to Nanchoff. Ryan Price.
Well defended, Ryan Price. Good to see him back.
Does not allow Michael to go to his left. Price comes back to help on Belmar. Saves it before it goes out. Back to Toma. Bell too far for Lori. As Gleason will make Lori challenge.
Yeah, Lori's not had a touch of the ball yet, has he? He needs the ball into his feet. As the Roughnecks have got to really throw it now at the Timbers in these last, well, less than 2 minutes plus the injury time the referee chooses to add on.
Lubin gives a little shove to Belmar. There's Lori. Ballou comes running through. Lori's going to end up with it. And now the referee's going to say a foul on Brady Ballou.
Well, I don't think Brady Ballou did anything wrong there to try and get a foul from the referee. I think the referee could have just let play go on there, because it was one of those where there was a little collision. Ballou wasn't diving, and I have to say...
That's not a foul.
It's not a foul, and he should have just let the game run, and he's a long way away from it as well. And I am the last person to want to criticise officials. As you know, I've been building them up all night. I just think the referee could have just let that one go, and Brady Ballou didn't commit a foul at all there. But the referee gets to see it closer than we do. Still time for the Roughnecks.
Payne. Looking for Winchester. The hustle back there from the Timbers. Not only from Payne, but from Winchester. 4 minutes added on here in stoppage time.
Four minutes, still time.
Still plenty of time.
Lubin's going to have to get this one forward quickly now. It's all hands to the pump, and they're going to throw the kitchen sink at the Portland Timbers defense here.
Lubin, service to Ballou. On to the boot of Laurie Bell. Just trying to find Cordero near the 18. Unable to do so. Now Portland's going to be content to just dump it to the far end.
It's amazing that the Timbers defense have been much, much better in this second half as well. They weren't so good in the first half, and I think we said in commentary we didn't want the chances to come back and bite the Roughnecks that they had to go 2 up.
And Portland's been winning every 50-50 ball, especially in the air. Vinter against Winchester. Gavin might be able to maintain possession for a moment. So Roughnecks, Laurie Bell to Ryan Price. Ryan Price now near midfield. Touches past up near midfield. And Ryan Price try to find player up front. Roughnecks fortunate. Here's Lori. Lori got a header on Gleason.
What's Sandy Lori, 6'4", 6'5". It was to the right man, wasn't it? Ball hanging in the air. He did everything right. Gleason down to his left-hand post. Maybe Lori would look back at that and say I didn't quite get enough power on the header, but a good build-up, good ball in, and still chances for the Roughnecks.
Thought that he might try to go back post as well with the header, but as you mentioned, there wasn't much on it.
That'll be a card for Belmar, kicking the ball away there. Didn't need to do that. Everybody towards the 18-yard line.
Lubin inside the box. Clark wins. Settle there from Vinter.
Got to win this one, Chad Bond.
Oh, Chad Bond. And now the Roughnecks are in trouble. Here comes Winchester. Winchester has Belmar. Goes across the box to Belmar. Belmar slots it in.
Well, there's two things to say there. Chad Bond was lucky he didn't catch the man, as he would have been seeing red. But that was a good breakaway as the Roughnecks went for the 2-2 draw, and they've been beaten by the counter-attack. It was a very good ball across in the end, and Lubin again could do nothing about it, and that is game over. And Lubin should not be arguing at the referee still about that penalty decision, which could have changed the game, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
And give credit, by the way, to Rundell Winchester, because he was unselfish there and gave the proper ball across the goal. And Belmar did well as also to stay on sides to make sure he was in proper position and put that one in. And T2 now with a 2-goal lead here in stoppage time. Bardsley has that one go almost through Gleason. Defender comes over to save it before it goes over the line. Was that Toma that was flying through to save it? I believe it was.
I think it was. Chad Bond with the corner. Lubin's back on the halfway line. Everybody else in the box.
Bond. Boy, Gleason falling back was able to punch that one away with the right hand, and there's the whistle, and that's going to do it.
Now,
Portland has come into Tulsa.
I'm just going to say, Jeremy, keep your eyes on the Roughneck players here. Gibson Bardsley's got to be very, very careful here. They've gone to the official, and they must not get a silly red card or yellow card. Coach Irvin's got to get his men away from the officials. And I think he's just about done that.
Roughnecks players and now are walking back towards, and their attention has turned away from the referee, and now they are congratulating the Timbers players. David Irving comes over and congratulates Tim Payne on the victory.
Well, you can hear what the crowd think about it. The third goal you cannot complain about. I think the crowd are upset with the penalty decision, but the referee was right there. He's given the decision, and sometimes you just have to get on with it, and the referee has made his decision. There's nothing anybody can do about it now, and you don't want to get silly red cards or yellow cards when the whistle's gone. Referee's down the tunnel now. Players are shaking hands. Coach Irvin will get them together, and they'll have to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and get on with the next game, which is always the most important game, isn't it? The next game.
Roughnecks fall 3-1 to the